Curling now enters the Sports Weekend spotlight.
Well, hi again, curling fans. Hey, Colleen, it is curling day in Canada. We're doing this show live, and my internet is breaking up. And so we're just going to do it live, and we're going to have a house party. Hi again, curling fans. Colleen, you're looking great tonight. You ready?
And we're both feeling this little bit of red being curling day. Championship pool final night. Devin, so much excitement, drama, still possibilities. The simplest thing tonight as Team Canada steps on the ice up against Manitoba's Jennifer Jones, they just have to win and they'll finish first. Sounds easy, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, you always made it look easy because you loved this part of a Scotties six-time national championship. Champion Colleen Jones. Colleen, we've got a jam-packed show. I tweeted earlier tonight that you and I 3 years ago were on a media bench in Pyeongchang gabbing about all of the shots. And here we are, that curling show from coast to coast to coast. And tonight, we're even going south of the border. So it's going to be a really special show, Colleen.
Here's hoping the internet holds up for us all. But right off the bat, we've got to get to our top guest today because she's got to hustle to the rink. The one and only wonderful Heather Nedohin, coach of Team Canada. Hi, Heather. How are you?
Heather. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
So happy. I mean, the scenarios tonight, we know there are a lot. What's the best, simplest thing Team Canada's got to do?
Well, you know what it's like. You just got to play your rocks and play the sheet in front of us. There's always big scenarios that can happen, but really what matters is what we do with our own stones. So take care of our own business. If you would have asked us at the beginning of the week to be in a position where we are now, we'd be thrilled.
Heather,
go ahead, Deb.
Sorry, Cole, I'm going to jump in. Heather, you sent out a video earlier today, a two-time national champion, and you still got it, Skipper. Do we have that video of Heather on the ice? I think this was at Christmas. A beautiful shot, great delivery. How were the ice conditions, Skipper?
Well, I better say they were excellent because David made them. So, yeah. But you got to love it when you're out on the ice in the middle of northern Alberta and your fans or your dogs cheering you on, right? Like, how great is that?
Those dogs, they love you no matter if you make the shot or not. Tell me, Heather, the difference for you behind the bench. First off, I looked at the power behind the bench, either in fifths or coaches, and whoa, there was some curling royalty and trophy winners there. But what's the biggest adjustment for you as coach?
Well, I'll be honest, I think the biggest adjustment for all of us is no fans in the stands and that energy that we draw just naturally from them. So as the coach fan behind them, we're trying to really excite and there's some unbelievable shots being made directly in front of us. And you're like, oh, yes, like, woohoo, like, way to go, girls. That was a triple, So but the adjustment from player to coach, I'm going to be honest, this has been a kind of a pleasure of myself working with this team. Like, how dynamic are they? And I get the best seat in the house seeing like unbelievable shots unfold. So yeah, it's been a transition, but I have to say it's a lovely chapter that I'm enjoying.
Heather, the team is on a roll. You come off a scrappy win against that young Quebec team. This is a part of the championship where the smallest little things decide everything. And tonight you're up against Jennifer Jones. I know you're heading to the rink soon. Take me through the routine, the pregame routine. You wanted to be on the show early because you've got to stick to that schedule.
Yep, and Colleen will understand it. We're down to the seconds, right? So, we have our team meeting in our room. We go over our goals, our expectations, and really it's the details, right? It's championship round. Everything needs to be in a precise, put it where we want it, nail it where we want it, and above all, communication, right? And sticking to our plan of remaining positive and taking care of our own business, right? We can control ourselves.
Heather, by the way, I always tell Devin and producer Sophie, don't bother them at this time. Don't bother. They won't be checking their emails then. Like, send it then and do this. And they have no idea how strangely scheduled we are at this time.
Us skips are. That's why I'm giggling, because I've got, the big talk last year was all four skips. But I think that's where they've got the advantage. They're four strong ladies that know the game from front to back end. And I call them dynamic, right? Like, how awesome is that?
So is tonight, I mean, obviously the simplest thing they could do is win. And then there's 15 other scenarios that could happen. But yet, if it falls down to number 2, it's sort of like this is a huge game. I guess that's where I'm going with this thought, Heather.
Well, to me, it's just sheet bravo, right? What's happening on my sheet at this time, and keeping the girls focused on our task at hand, because really, that's all that matters. And I'm going to say it again. If we positioned ourselves at the beginning of this week being where we are now, we'd be thrilled. And that's, again, we get to control our own destiny. We don't have to wait on others.
Is this less stressful for you?
It's a bit of both. Like, I'm finding I'm energized because I got four girls out there that I'm learning the dynamics on and how to interact to bring out the best in each other. But I have to say, I've been a fan of them. And so when I got the call early in the springtime, I was actually like, me? I'm honored. Can I actually bring something to your team? And I had to think about it because, again, they're here and I want to be able to bring them a little bit higher. And that's, again, I was thrilled by the call.
I want to jump in here because I know you got to go, Heather, but I do want to comment on the future of the game. I know you've been working so hard at the club and keeping everybody abreast of the changing circumstances. You and I had conversations about the future of the game. Where is the club at? What are you hearing from people? And how do we ensure that the great game we love sticks around and is healthy moving forward?
Well, I think it just even shows for this event this year. We have young 20-year-olds, right, coming up in the works. We've got aging 50-year-olds, right, still in the mix. So we've got the dynamics on the women's side that anything is possible. At the club level, I have to say, like my own club, I manage the Shore Park Curling Club, and we're vibrant in the sense it's everybody's welcome. We have recreational curling for all ages and such. But yes, COVID has set us back. But I think as a non-contact social distancing sport where we can wear our masks, we are a safe option when we get the opportunity to relaunch and get back to the game. I know from the fans' perspective and the recreational players' perspective, they can't wait to get back to play because they miss it. And I think it's more than just curling. It's like that's the curling on the ice, but it's the socialization that we miss so much. That interaction and that personal connection you get at your community curling club is people are looking for it.
Yeah. Okay, it's 8 minutes after the hour. You got to get to the rink. I will say, when Heather was traveling with David Nedohin, not a bad curler himself, she was the best, loudest cheerleader. fans in the stands, if you're with us, clap your hands. That was Heather. I'll be doing it from here for you.
Oh, please do. You know what? Thank you, Canada. The one thing we miss the most is those wonderful cheers from the fans. But I must say, I think what the praise has been coming through is how much people have missed curling and enjoying the Scotties. So tune in, enjoy. It's only going to get better.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. It's 9 minutes after. Get going.
Get going.
Bye.
Good luck, Heather.
Yeah. Good luck, Heather.
Thank you.
Colleen, she makes a wonderful point. The fans are at the heart of all of this. I wrote a piece today. You and I get to interact with the fans all the time. They are the heartbeat of this game. And one of our CBC Sports editors, Steve Zemes, put together a beautiful montage to celebrate it. We're going to be celebrating fans in this game throughout the day. Let's take a look at what Steve put together.
Throughout the years, we've seen a million tears. They've run dry down our jawbones and beards. Through troubles and strife, we've turned out alright. and it feels like there's no more rivers left to see. When storms fill our sails and trees block our trails, oh, I got a friend in you. Amazing grace, how sweet it sounds to carry my load until noonday is found. For when we were lost, adventure all around, I've still got a friend in you.
Well done. Oh, that song and the montage gives me goosebumps because you know what, Devin? I often look at curling as my friend.
Yeah.
It's almost like as soon as I walk in the curling club, it's like, oh, there's my friend, the ice. Like it's a real living thing for me. I know that must sound strange. And funny listening to Heather talk about the curling club and what an inviting place it's been. And as curling clubs have shut down and been open, the 1,000 curling clubs or so across the country, man, have they worked hard to keep things and protocols in place when they have been opened. They've all gone the extra mile.
And here's the reality of it, Colleen, the ingenuity and the creativity of curling fans. If they can't get inside a curling club, they actually take it outside to backyard rinks and to the lake. And tonight we're going to showcase some of that magic because right now we are headed to Watson Lake, Yukon for the 39th annual Watson Lake bonspiel. And we're trying to connect with Jean. That's a long way from where you and I are. And so we're trying to connect with Jean. They're up in Watson Lake. And Colleen, this is a beautiful story. For 39 consecutive years, they've been headed out onto the lake there. They've got 2 sheets.
Yeah.
And I understand that this year the theme is it's the end of the world as I know it. That seems pretty fitting. And
that's appropriate.
Yes.
And you can see, oh, there's Jean. We got you in the house.
Yes, pretty much the apocalypse.
I know. Listen, internet connection.
Are we actually live right now?
We are live.
We are. We are. Welcome. Where's that amazing ice? How's the bonspiel going? You might have frozen. She might have frozen already. Devin, can I tell you, one year, they played the Watson Lake Spiel, and it was -50.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? So no wonder why she's frozen in place there. Maybe it's -30 today. Jean and her husband, Scott, moved up to Watson Lake a couple of years ago from God's country of Cape Breton, and they fell in love with the area. And if you've ever been to the Yukon, you can see why people fall in love with it in a hurry. So it's an incredible bond. So we're going to try Jean again.
I'm going to show you what's going on. We've been doing this here in Watson Lake for 39 years. You can hear and see everyone. It's a little cold here today.
That's beautiful.
But I want you to see. Yeah, so we got some ice. We got a lot of snow, which really makes stopping the rocks a bit easier. And as you can see, it's a pretty fun event. It's pretty casual. Everybody's out. We got some great costumes this year. And
Tell me about the Skunk Trophy.
Yeah, I just really wanted to say that this is a real local event. We've been doing it for a long time, and we absolutely love curling. It's the reason why I decided to stay. We have, I don't know if you can see it. We're using a leaf blower. I'm trying to get you to see that, but it's it's the reason why we decided to stay in Watson Lake. I'm from Cape Breton originally, representing. Hi there. And if anyone out there is really interested in doing anything like this, take a look at our Facebook page, 39th Watson Lake Outdoor Bonspiel. We'll help you, message us, and do whatever. And I think the last thing that I'd really like to try to say, because I don't know how much time I have, but if you're planning on doing this, have the least amount of rules as possible. We have 2. What happens at bonspiel stays at bonspiel, and no whiskey for Brian Lund unless Tiff says so.
Right on. No whiskey. Bravo!
Have a great Canada Day, a curling day in Canada, everyone.
Yay! Woo! Well, listen,
I can hear you a bit.
you can hear. Listen, who's going to win the skunk trophy? Can you hear me? Oh my gosh. Was that Brian?
Yes.
He's had the whiskey.
I can.
That's
Yes.
good.
I'll tell Tiff you said it's okay.
Nice to have you with us,
Camera
Jean.
around, guys, it's a technical issue. It makes the data die.
Oh my gosh. That is so good. Good camera work.
Great.
Jean, thank you.
Jean, thank you.
Of everything I've ever seen in curling, I've never seen a leaf blower to use. I think that could be brilliant. I think it's an illegal device, Devin. I wanted to find out, but obviously a few technical issues. They present skunk trophies, and one guy one year won the door prize, and he won a door. I mean, that's brilliant.
I mean, is that not beautiful? And I do have some concerns about the leaf blower and some burnt rocks out there, Colleen. But, you know, what a beautiful scene playing out in Watson Lake. Of course, internet connections and data and all of this might be an issue. We're doing it live. We're bringing everybody together today on Curling Day in Canada. And what a beautiful thing playing out there in Watson Lake. 39 years, Colleen. That is the record for the longest going outdoor bonspiel.
Wow.
And my sense, Colleen, is they're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are having a lot of fun, especially that whiskey part. And you know what? That is a first for that curling show that we've gone to Watson Lake. So to me, the technology worked beautifully. We saw a leaf blower blowing a rock.
Listen, I'm going to jump in because you said a first for that curling show. And we do actually have some exciting news, don't we, Colleen?
You want me to jump in with the big news?
Well, I think you should because
you go.
Okay. Well, listen, last night you put me on the spot along with Benny Hebert, asking about whether or not we were going to be doing this, that curling show during the Brier and moving forward. Last night we revealed that we were going to do it opening night and then championship weekend. And we were inundated, Colleen. You saw the messages about why we weren't doing it every day of the Brier. I woke up this morning. Our CBC Sports Department, because of you, the fans, have said that that curling show is going to be here every single night of the Brier.
Yeah, so we're there for you. So
we're here.
Twitterland, thank you.
Thank you. So we're not going anywhere. There's going to be drama every single night of the Brier, but we still have the Scotties to get through as well. And what a night it's shaping up to be. We've got, like I said, at the top, a jam-packed show because we're going to be going to a number of backyard rinks. We're going to have some important discussions. We've got it all right here tonight, Colleen.
Well, what a drama for the ice tonight. And let's just, because I know we had Heather Nedohin at the top of the show, a coach of Team Canada and a two-time Scotties champ herself. But let's just go down the drama of tonight. And I did call tonight for you, Devin, tonight's drama. Welcome to Colleen's Fancy Boards.
Here we go.
The only game, while I'm loving the Peterson-St. George game at the bottom, they both have 5 losses. I think what this game is so important for both of them as they continue to kind of pad their knowledge of what it's like to play in this event. But one day, one of those two teams is going to be Team Canada. Wildcard 1, Fleury, she's got 5 losses, so she's up against Walker, and Walker's very much in this and been on fire, right? Fleury is out. This one, Canada, Manitoba, that Heather talked about. If Canada wins this game, it's so simple. They're number 1. If they lose and Ontario wins, Ontario gets number 1. So it shows you the bigness of these two games, and of course Ontario. Whoops, I put Jones. That was a mistake. Ontario's Homan. I'll correct that. Fire the graphic person up against Sherry Anderson, and wasn't Jennifer Jones so hot in her thrashing of Rachel Homan?
Well, let me jump in. I mean, Jennifer Jones was not happy after her loss to Alberta. You could see it. She comes back today, shoots 96% clinical. Manitoba as a team shot 94%. They defeated the top team at that point of the event 9-1, and they stole 7 points. That is clinical curling.
It is. And the other interesting thing about that game was the first time that Lisa Wiggle with Manitoba played her former teammates and Rachel Homan. So that's just a little bit of a sidebar. Give round one to Manitoba in this. But the drama of tonight and the different calculations that could play out, we'll be talking about that through the evening. But right now, where are we going?
Well, we are going, I think we're trying to, I think Sophie, producer Sophie behind the scenes, we've got a lot of guests, so I think she's working behind the scenes right now, trying to get to, this is an important discussion that we're going to have about diversity in curling. And I know, Colleen, you had a conversation with Andrew Paris out of Nova Scotia, where you are, and I know we're going to be getting to that sooner than later.
Yeah, so they have started, Andrew is partnering with Goldline, and we'll also have Aaron Flower on the show, and they have come up with United We Curl as hashtag. And good for Goldline as a company to start saying, you know what, we want to do our part to start the diversity discussion. It certainly has been a big discussion with Curl Canada for the last number of years. If you think about the evolution of our game. Yep. You know, when I won that first Scotties 4 years ago, women's curling was in its infancy. Right. As a matter of fact, just 2 years before that, at my curling club, I wasn't allowed in the upstairs part of the club. So you think about that. That's not that long ago, is it? Women's curling now, gender equity, pay equity, ratings are similar. Like, it's just grown so much. So it's a real strength it's a strength in the game. So I'm just taking you through a little bit of the evolution. Right. Then wheelchair curling became popular throughout Canada, and they've grown that part of the game. And now they really want to bring diversity to the sport, which we all know has been sorely lacking. It has. And encouraging more people to join the sport. I mean, the clubs will benefit from this by reaching out. A lot of people look at a private club and go, oh, it's a private club. Oh, my parents didn't play. Oh, this and that. But the mechanisms need to be put in place to reach out and make this happen. And certainly Andrew Paris from Truro, Nova Scotia, who's with us now, is one of the people that hopefully will be leading the charge. Andrew. Hey, Andrew.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yes. It's been a while, but it's all good things. Lots to talk about tonight.
Yeah. Tell me about United We Curl, first off. We talked a little bit about it in the partnership with Goldline.
So, Aaron Flowers with Goldline approached me a while back because we've been both doing some diversity work with Curling Canada. And we both talked about how can we really push this further. There's been a lot of talking and a lot of good conversation, but we really want to push this forward, really get it going. So that's where Unite We Curl came from. We talked about designing a broom. So Unite We Curl encompasses everything that Goldline is doing. On my particular end, I've designed a broom to really highlight the Black community in Canada, with hopes that that will lead forward to eventually bring in more BIPOC youth into curling.
Wonderful. To give me an idea of what you designed, I had no idea you were a designer, Andrew.
I've had a lot of help from Goldline. What the broom itself, it tells the story. So from the top end of the broom right down to the bottom, there's a variety of stories that will be told. It's one of those pieces that I'm super excited about. When you see the broom, there's no way you cannot have a conversation about this unless you're running away from it. So I'm really excited to reveal it here in the coming weeks.
Nice. Andrew, I'm going to jump in. Can you just tell us what your experiences have been like in curling, what it's been like when you go to the curling rink, what you hear, the conversations you have? Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. So I've been involved with curling. Well, I've loved the sport for as long as I can remember. So I'm a bit different in that sense where nobody recruited me per se. But a lot of times when I walk into the curling club, except for my home club, so shout out to Dartmouth Curling Club and the Truro Curling Club, I get a lot of looks as to why are you here? Or my skill level it has to be down here because of the color of my skin. There's nobody at the door saying, no, you can't come in. But that invisible barrier, that's something that quite often I have to fight through. Even when I was working with Nova Scotia Curling, I'd come in with the Nova Scotia Curling gear on, and still it was something that I had to fight through. And for the first half hour, 45 minutes, there's that bit of awkwardness that I always have to fight through. And that's a big part of what we're doing. I don't want my son and the next generation to have to fight through that. I'd like to, in 20 years, to look from one end of the country to the other and see diversity and it be no big issue.
You're such a trailblazer, really, when you think about it. What's your next plan? Can you reveal?
Yeah, so I can't reveal necessarily all the details just yet, but like I said, we really want to tackle this head on. And over the years, I've been involved with this initiative and that initiative, and for one reason or another, we really haven't been able to get traction. So then I realized it's time for me to do this myself. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to launch a not-for-profit. We're going at this full bore. So we're still dotting the I's and crossing the T's, but I'm going to start my own not-for-profit. We're going to start here in Nova Scotia, and over the next 5 years, we really want to expand this across Canada.
And can you imagine when we become more inclusive, how much stronger when we include everybody in the competition pool, how much stronger the sport will get? I mean, to me, it's, I know it won't happen overnight, but once you start including more people, it's just going to strengthen the sport so much more to bring all the great athletes together.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like anything. The bigger the pool you have, the greater your program, the greater the club can be. It's not a matter, this whole piece, it's not a matter of saying that there's inherent racism in the club, because I don't believe that to be true. I mean, I've experienced a couple of racist issues within curling clubs, but that's very rare. It's not the case across the board. But what we want to do is we want to give the tools to curling clubs to really look deep and have a conversation about this, while at the same time working with the member associations. And at the same time, we have parallel conversations going on to start, the Black community here in Nova Scotia about how to introduce them into curling. And slowly but surely, we bridge both those sides together. And I truly believe in the end it will be a beautiful thing. But it's going to take some time to get there and a lot of hard work. And that's what a not-for-profit is looking forward to doing.
Absolutely. Beautiful work, beautiful message. You talk about, taking on this initiative on your own, but I also understand that you have some help as well, Andrew. And I think at this point we should bring in Aaron Flowers from Goldline Curling, because I know you guys have been collaborating and working, and here's Aaron now. Good evening to you, Aaron. It's great to see you. Normally we would be inside the arena, but here we are on that curling show. It's beautiful to see you. Maybe just pick up where Andrew has left off, because I know you've also been working behind the scenes to make this great game more diverse and more inclusive for everyone.
Oh, well done, Andrew. You're the star of this show as far as we're concerned. And I think that, I'm here because Andrew, we have an opportunity to work with Andrew, and Andrew has come to the table with just some incredibly creative ideas that, we did make a statement as a company back in June, and we came out and said we haven't done enough. And Andrew has had the patience and just a lot of time to really help us as a company and as individuals. And I don't want to leave out another very key person, which is Dr. Richard Norman, who has mentored myself and our company through this conversation. And I'm grateful that Andrew and Graydon are both involved in United We Curl, and the first initiatives that we are doing directly involve them, their communities. And I'm not sure if Andrew mentioned, but this entire initiative is not for a profit for Goldline. We are putting all the proceeds back into. Andrew obviously has huge passion, as you hear, to see the BIPOC youth grow this sport, and I couldn't get behind that anymore.
Well, what I think is amazing is when companies get involved, like your company. I know, you've done a lot for curling, and I think it's amazing that you're taking on this project, because I think it's one just about every curler across Canada, Andrew, I think you'd agree with me on this, knows and wants it to change. So Andrew, when you start that not-for-profit, you call me. I'll come out and coach as best I can, although I'm sure I can't be as good a coach as you, but I'll bring some energy your way.
I can't wait, Colleen.
Yeah.
So looking forward to having you come out.
Yeah. Erin, nice to see you.
You too, Colleen. Yes. Sorry, we're not in. Sorry.
Can't wait to see that broom. Is there just the one broom, or are you working on a second broom too?
So I'm working on one broom. Erin can talk about the other broom that's being worked on.
Is there
actually, yes, there's a second broom, and it's a young man that I met actually at a Grand Slam of Curling event in 2020, or actually it might have been 2019. Anyway, Graydon, and Graydon is, I've said a couple times that I'm not sure I'm the same person who started out working with these two gentlemen. They are unbelievable, and I'm extremely grateful to have them on the team here. And Graydon's brush is being designed with he's Indigenous, and his community and himself are both putting this design together, and both pieces will blow your mind.
Well, you bring up a really good point, because often there's criticism of sort of having Nunavut and Yukon and Northwest Territories as three separate entries in the Canadian Curling Championships. And I say, we got to grow it up there even more. Like the opportunity, and when the Nunavut men's team wanted to go to the Brier, and they talked about how strong their junior program is, I get goosebumps talking about that now. So I just hope we don't lose sight of the fact that for teams to be able to dream of going and winning the Brier or the Scotties is an important carrot that any of the other championships just doesn't bring to the table. So anyhow, call me to coach, Andrew.
Pardon me?
Call me to coach.
Oh, of
I'm
course.
there for you.
Yes.
Yeah. And keep it up. Erin, congratulations. Andrew, I love this new work you're doing. We miss you at Nova Scotia Curling, of course, but
yeah, and let me jump in and just say thank you to both for your authenticity and your vulnerability on this issue. I know you're meeting it and staring it down, and it's really meaningful work that you guys are doing. So I appreciate it, and of course, Colleen and I appreciate both of you being on that on the show tonight. So thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you
please check out Andrew and Graydon's stories, because I think that is what leads this. This is what's going to create the openness we need in this sport. So
Devin will be all over that, so don't worry about that. Devin's got it.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
Amazing. Take care. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Well done, Andrew.
Bye, Andrew. Bye, Erin.
Yeah, Colleen, earlier, I was going to say earlier this year, but, this past fall, I wrote a piece about diversity in curling, and it sparked a lot of conversation. And Erin mentioned Dr. Richard Norman and some of the studies he's done. He's done great work talking to a lot of people. There's a lot of things happening, so it was beautiful to have them on the show.
Yeah, and Curl Canada is working on piecing all of this together. Then what they have to do, Devin, is they can't just hand out a mandate, because the curling clubs are all private across the country. A lot of them are run by volunteers in every corner of the country. They might have one manager and an ice maker, but they're swamped. So then the drive to bring in new members, any members, falls to them. There's no advertising budget for this. So it's hard for the curling clubs. I'm not making excuses, but they don't actively recruit anybody, but they need to. because as Andrew said, it's good business for them to start drawing on everybody and saying, our doors are open. We want you. We need you in the sport. It's going to make us stronger. We are stronger together.
All right, we have some questions coming in. We know that the fans are trying to figure out the tie-breaking situations, but we also know, Colleen, that people are trying to figure out who's going to qualify for the Olympic trials in my hometown of Saskatoon. So we know some of the teams have already qualified. We know that Carrie Ainerson's already in, Rachel Holman's already in, Jennifer Jones is already in, but people are already starting to look ahead. It's going to be at the end of November. And so we're being asked, how is this going to play out if one of those teams wins? Who does that next spot go to?
Okay. Yeah. And that's a great question, isn't it? Because they're not going to give it to number 2, 3, 4, or 5. Right. And a lot of those teams already have their spots. So I'm going to have to phone Al live on the show to get that answer for you. Well, maybe not right now. But years ago, when they ran into a problem when Randy Furby and our team won too many Scotties and Briars in a row. And so they started giving the number 2 spot to whoever was runner-up to us. And it wasn't quite an earned berth, if you know what I mean. So they kind of are staying away from that. But let's worry about the Olympic trials, boy, next November when they come around, because it will take care of itself. Remember when we read the document from Curl Canada about how that's going to shake down? And we read it 8 times and we're there, okay, does that mean this and this and this? And don't forget what Paul Webster told us the other day about the side door entry, right? So there's all kinds of possibilities in it all. But if you want me to start bringing out the boards of the 16s, not yet, too early, I'm there for you.
Please don't. Please don't. Because
listen, I have something fun for you just right here. This is because it's Curling Day in Canada. I thought I'd just show you. Isn't that cute? Isn't it cute? Yeah. This is what people are doing. This is the Watson Lake scenario right here. Isn't it adorable? I knew like that.
Okay, hold on. We got to keep moving because we've got a lot of guests. We're doing it live. We got a lot of guests to get to. And so it is Curling Day in Canada. But one of the beautiful things about this game, Colleen, is it's growing. And of course, you got to remember, we got to talk about it. 2018, John Schuster and that United States curling team winning Olympic gold. And so in the United States, they're massive curling fans as well. And that's where we're headed right now. We're going to Wisconsin, where they're having a curling party. Look at this. There's Dave. They're in Wisconsin near Milwaukee. Good evening. Good curling to all of you. Dave, how are you? Welcome to the show.
We're doing well. Hi, Devin. Hi, Colleen. Thanks for having us on.
This is amazing. What's your setup here?
Well, that's basically the backside of our curling building. And we have 4 sheets, and we can't broom stack inside due to COVID rules. So we take the broom stacking outside, and we all gather. Let's see if you can see it. There's a fire pit over here in the corner with a propane fire heater. We all, try to keep a distance as best we can. And somebody came up with the idea, Lauren actually, last week came up with the idea to have the Scotties projected on the side of the building, and it's been great because usually we'll watch it inside.
Wow.
That is an awesome setup, Dave. Tell me a little bit about the club there, the curling community there. You and I have been exchanging messages on Twitter. You guys are such passionate fans. But tell me about the curling community and the club down there.
We love it. There are 3 clubs within probably about 20 miles of Milwaukee, and we just have fun with it. We love the sport. We love the social aspect, the friendships that are made in this club. They last for years and years. There's families here that have been curling since the beginning. There's 3 generations. Matt, help me out. Hippies or 3 generations? Yeah. Dunlops, and it's a family. It really is. It's a family atmosphere. Curling in general is kind of like that. You go meet other curlers from other clubs. You're like, hey, how you doing? You may not know them, but it's just the way curling is. Everybody knows it. We have 4 sheets here. We were trying to figure out a way to do the best we can to make this season happen because we all love it. And it's that escape that everybody wants to have. It's part of our winter. And so we found a way to do it. The safety and sanitizing committee that we came up with this summer in the off season has done a fantastic job coming up with ways to keep everybody safe. We have medical professionals on that committee. We have people who work in the food and beverage industry, entertainment. So different walks of life bring different ideas and different ways of doing things. They've kept us safe the entire time so far, and we've had to modify the games a little bit. We only have 1 sweeper instead of 2, but we're still curling. So
you're still curling now, are you?
We are.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, no league played tonight. No leagues on Saturday nights, but during the week we have all our leagues going, fully functional, and so far, knock on wood, no issues.
Nice. How did John Schuster's gold medal change the landscape of curling in the United States?
It has been a boom of interest in curling. We saw a huge influx of interest here at our club in general, so I can only imagine what the other clubs have seen around Minnesota, especially where they're from. But we took a huge influx of people in our Learn to Curls, in our corporate outings that we do. Huge interest boom. So it's been great to see, and it kind of just took us to that next level to get curling on the map here in the States.
Okay, I got to jump in here, Dave. You're watching old Scotties, but I know you guys are watching this year's Scotties. Do you guys have favorite Canadian teams? Have you been watching this year? Do you have any predictions on how this drama is going to play out?
Man, I have been watching. I have missed a few games, but it's been kind of nice to be working from home so that I can watch as well as I work. Carrie's team looks fantastic. And Jennifer Jones is kind of always in that mix. You can't always count her out. Team Holman, I was wondering how is it going to be with a different lead than what they're used to, and no practice games beforehand coming in, but they're right at the top again. It's been fun to watch. I kind of think Carrie and Team Einerson's gonna come out on top. I think just the feeling I have watching everybody kind of play throughout the week. Saskatchewan has been a great story to see them play so well. So I think Einerson's probably my pick.
I love the setup. It actually looks warm in Wisconsin.
It is. So it's, probably about 40 or a little under. So Canada, that would be, what would that be, about 7 or 8 maybe?
Yeah, I'll go with 7 or 8. Awesome.
Beautiful. A beautiful night.
It's great.
Balmy.
Well, Dave, thank you so much for taking us there. It's so nice to see the game growing across North America. You guys have such a great curling community there. So from Curling Day in Canada, north of the border, all the best to you and everyone down at the club.
Well, thank you. Happy Curling Day in Canada, and hopefully we'll have a companion Curling Day in the States at some point in the future.
Get on that.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Take care, Dave. Thanks. And say hi to everybody there.
Will do. Say hi, guys.
Yay! Yay! I love that setup. I love it.
Yeah, that's
anytime you're in Milwaukee, come on over.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave. Colleen,
Thanks,
Colleen, I think we got to take a road trip.
I think we need a road trip too, but so many people are wondering how they can gather and watch, and you can't. But outdoors with that screen, I think I'm giving you high marks. I'm giving you 10 out of 10 for that.
Appreciate it.
Lovely.
Awesome.
Lovely.
Thanks, Dave. That's outstanding. Okay, listen, we're going to keep rolling here. Now, let me tell you, this is a really fun story. So through a couple of personal connections, Colleen, I was able to get in contact with some of the members of the band, The Arrogant Worms. And being from Saskatchewan, at Rough Rider games, we party in the stands to the song, The Last Saskatchewan Pirate. The Arrogant Worms, I know them really, really well. A bunch of personal connections. we get connected before today's show, and they so beautifully and graciously provide their curling song that they put together so we could put together another curling montage and reflect the great fans of this country. And Sophie put it together, and we get to watch it now. Thank you to the Arrogant Worms and the curling song. Let's take a look.
Peggy sure loves to go curling, if only to see her husband sweet. And Doug likes it when his stones are turning, but when they're burned it causes him to weep.
Oh, nice shot, Brooklyn.
Curling ain't like no other sport there is. Steroids and drugs are never heard of here.
This is your curling rink right here for now.
Curling really made a huge difference in helping me get through all of this.
If they test for traces of beer, hurry hard down the ice now, for we are all here to get our rocks off.
I am tearing up, so that's that.
You didn't tell me I was going to cry when I came up.
Bring your tissue.
Yeah, I need my tissue for sure. My Scotties.
Oh, I can't make me cry. What's going on?
For there's a slippy side to make you go real quickly.
Well, I mean, it's just YouTube, so we can let it fly a little bit. Eh?
A little bit.
Listen, I don't know why you guys put Ben's shot in there. I thought this was my highlight reel.
But curling has many ends, and sure, it's nice to
It's a great game, curling, and it's such a beautiful game.
I love you guys, and I can't wait to have you back for roster.
Hurry hard down the ice now, for we are all here to get our rocks off.
I might not have curling attire or even a curling rock coffee cup mug or whatever, but I have curling in my heart. Happy Curling Day in Canada, everybody. Mwah.
Can we see that one more time?
I love that.
How good is
I
that?
love the song. I got that in my head now. Hurry hard down the ice now.
Listen. You saw my family in there. You saw a bunch of great fans in there. You saw Sue from Saskatchewan right at the end of that. Colleen, this is such a beautiful celebration here today on Curling Day in Canada. I feel fortunate, as well as I know you do, to be a part of this great curling community. And right now, we get to continue the house party tonight. We get to go to Manitoba, Oak Bank, Manitoba, where we're joining Andrew Mead, who has what I believe the curling sheet of dreams. And there he is on that sheet of dreams. Good evening to you, and happy Curling Day in Canada. Andrew, how are you?
Very good. We had some technical difficulties. My iPad froze. So only in Manitoba.
Yeah. Listen, what size is that rink? It looks regulation.
Oh, it's not. It's 40 feet long and 10 feet wide.
Wow. That's
beautiful. And so, Andrew, I know you're out there. It looks like a chilly night in Manitoba, being from Saskatchewan. I know it all too well. But just show us the scene. I mean, you've posted the pictures. It's beautiful. The family's out here. Tell us who's out there with you, and why don't you just take over and show us some of these throws?
Sure. This is that's Millie. She's 4. We've got Bennett. Say hi, Bennett. Hi. We've got Ann there. I'm Andy. This is our rink. We had a big melt last week. It was minus 40 for 3 weeks in a row, it felt like. And then last Wednesday, it got up to 7 degrees. So we had to do some repair on the rink. But I think we got back. Ben, do you want to throw some rocks? This is our.
Tell me about your rocks, Andrew.
My sister put together for us.
His iPad might be freezing again. Oh, there we go.
So the rocks we made out of wooden salad bowls, filled with cement and drawer pulls, kitchen drawer pulls for handles.
Oh,
awesome!
Good idea.
Yeah, and on the bottom they've got those furniture sliders, so they slide a little better. So Aaron's gonna take a throw here. Hold on.
Okay, perfect. Let's see.
Aaron, you're up.
Nice. Is this in your backyard?
It is our backyard. Yeah.
Wow. And so the rocks you're using as
keep our
you watch
Christmas lights
Aaron throw, they're maybe a step above like jam can curling.
Yeah. Yeah, we made them so they last a little bit longer.
How good is that?
That is so good. I love it.
And Andrew, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
The ring. Hi.
Hi, Andrew. Sorry, I
there?
think we're losing a little bit of the connection, but if you can hear me now, can you tell me a little bit about your family's love of curling? You've gone to great lengths. You've been able to connect with the family on the outdoor rink, but maybe just tell us about your love of curling.
Yeah, well, my brother curled quite a bit back in the day. Did fairly well for himself. Close to it. My wife's curled for years. We mixed doubles league in our local rink. I play in the men's league. She plays in the women's league. Bennett, our oldest, he's 6. He started curling in a couple leagues last year. So it's a yearly thing. We love it and can't get enough of it. So we just thought building a curling rink is a good way to carry it on throughout the winter.
So is your brother John Mead?
Sorry, didn't hear that.
Is your brother John?
It is.
Wow. I went to Worlds with him.
Yeah.
That Mead family. Did you know that, Devin? Wow, you guys have some talent.
Yeah, so hopefully Bennett will follow in some footsteps there. As long as he keeps on loving it, that's what we want, right?
Wow, nice. Well, that is a swell backyard, and we're glad your iPad didn't freeze on what looks like a cold night in Winnipeg, or Oakbank, sorry.
Oakbank, yeah.
Nice.
It's a fun place.
Fun, nice.
Do we have time? Do we have time for one more shot from Bennett? We saw some highlights from him. He looked dialed in. Can we see one more shot from Bennett, maybe?
Yeah, you bet, Bennett.
And does he have the Manitoba tuck?
He's starting to get his tuck in there, yeah, a little bit. He started flat foot, but he's growing into his toe a little bit, which is very Manitoba.
Yeah.
Here, I'll get low here and we'll get a better view.
Okay, you go, Andrew. Camera worker, ice maker, rink maker, he does it all. Okay. Here he comes. Wow.
So he does it. He has fun.
Yeah, nice. Andrew, thank you so much for giving us the tour of your backyard.
Well, thanks for inviting us. It's been
well, we're happy to. I'm telling you, I'm glad the iPad didn't freeze on us there, Devin.
I'll see what sort of shape is it. I'm on my phone. So.
Awesome. Andrew, happy curling day in Canada to you and the Mead family, and thank you for taking us on to what I believe the curling sheet of dreams. Thank you so much.
Oh, we appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thanks.
You know, as soon as he said, and my brother curled, he was like, I'm like,
yeah.
Johnny Mead?
Yep.
Like, what are the chances?
And then when you look at it, Colleen, you can certainly see the resemblance, can't you? And,
I can. But honestly, the way Johnny Mead and that Manitoba tuck, which if I could have any delivery in the world, it would be a Manitoba tuck. But I think you got to learn it early. I think it's too late for me to start tucking. It's too late. But I just think their ability to see the shot so well, because they're down their nose and they're on the ice. Whew, so
Beautiful.
low. I wish I could tuck.
It's never, Colleen, you keep proving it's never too late.
I think it's too late for the tuck. I think you get your that position early.
Okay.
What are we on to next?
Well, I mean, we got to keep it going because right now we're headed to Quebec. We're headed to Kirkland. It's a suburb just outside of Montreal. We're joining a great curling family and a great setup there. We checked it. Look at there they are. Hello to all of you. Happy day in Canada. How's everybody there on a great curling sheet in Quebec?
We're good.
Charlie, go show Colleen your sign. What does it say?
Okay, what does it say? Let me get my glasses on to see it. Let's see. Okay. Oh, do you have a Charlie whiteboard and Team Quebec? Right on. I love it. Thank you for having the whiteboard. I also have a chalkboard. Look at that. Is that the rink behind you?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
We'd like to. Our ice conditions have taken a bit of a hit. It's been freezing rain all day today. So we haven't thrown, and
I'll get out of the way.
Our Iceman unfortunately abandoned us and joined the Calgary bubble. So shout out to Neil Gargle, who's been in Calgary helping out with the ice.
Oh wow!
But, he's fired for abandoning us now.
Well, that's amazing. And how big is your rink?
How big is it, Zachary? About a half sheet.
Nice. All right, who's going to throw a rock for us? Can you throw?
Oh, no, it's a puddle. It's about an inch of water right now.
So much for that.
Wait a second. Introduce all of yourselves. I mean, this looks like a great curling family. Lisa, I know that you're the curling queen of the house, but who's all out there? And tell us some of your curling accomplishments, because I think there might be some brotherly rivalries going on here.
Well, I'll start. I'm the last to have joined. I figured since they all were curling, I might as well join along, so I did. I've only been curling 2 years, so not very many accomplishments under my belt.
Myself, throwing rocks just interferes with my scotch drinking, so I let the kids curl instead.
I've been curling since I'm 5. I have won the hit, draw, tap Quebec for the provincial championship, and I'm 12, so I've been curling since I'm 5.
Wow.
I've also been curling since I'm 5, and I've won the hit, draw, tap provincial event.
Wow. Nice.
And how old are you?
Well,
And I'm 9.
I've also curled since I was 5, and I feel left out because I've not won the hit shot tap. So I feel like I'm the one left out here. But I've also won and also we've decided, since we might as well, we tried to recreate Mike McEwen's corn brew.
Yeah.
And
very good.
We got him to send us a copy of his, so we recreated.
Oh,
We all have the Teflon at the end.
So
we've managed to recreate it, not fully, but close enough.
Pretty close.
That's outstanding. I got to ask you, Lisa, what a beautiful family you guys have, and I know curling means so much to you. But I also know you were involved with the French side of the Sandra Schmerler Foundation and all the great work you do there. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's the charity's called Curling for Kids. So we've been involved with them for about 6 years now. And they raise money for the 2 children's hospitals in Montreal. So it's very similar. They pick a piece of equipment every year to purchase for the different hospitals. It started out with Steve and I and the twins, the 2 older boys, curling on a team together. And then they abandoned us and formed their own kids team. And so the parents then joined along and formed their own team. And we lose every year. It's
but
not
having fun.
Not a big chalker there.
Colleen, I think we should get the family to give us some Scotties predictions and some Briar predictions. You guys take it away.
They would have been rooting for Team Quebec.
Right.
We were fortunate enough. We normally curl at the Point Claire Curling Club, but this season, because of COVID, we ended up moving over to Glenmore for the season and got to practice along Laurie's team right next to them every day. So we knew exactly how much practice she had put in. So her results were not a surprise to us at all.
Wow.
So sadly, she's out because she was our favorite for sure. But I think I have to go with Team Canada.
What else, guys? Give us your predictions.
Canada.
I've been Walker since the start.
And Team Holman here.
Okay.
And for the Briar, it's an easy pick, right, guys? Feed the horses. Who's feed the horses, guys?
Team Quebec.
Team Quebec.
Obviously.
Why do you call them that?
We practice alongside of Mike Fournier's team as well, so they're quite ready to hit up the Briar. So we're.
Did you say feed the horses?
Feed the horses.
Okay.
I don't understand it either, but Mike does.
Nice. Well, I hope you get a little bit more winter left so you can get on your ice and it's not a puddle anymore. We're getting that same sort of stuff here in Nova Scotia, so my backyard rink is a puddle as well.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's it's March break for them next week, so they're hoping to be able to throw some rocks, but we need Mother Nature's help.
Yeah, and I know the guys will like this. I'm just going to go get my whiteboard for them so we can. Okay, just getting it for you.
There you go, Charlie. Get in there with your whiteboard.
Where's your whiteboard? Let's out whiteboard each other. See, the world needs a little whiteboard.
The Charlie and Colleen whiteboard.
That could be a show. That could be a show. Yep. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And guys, remember, Colleen and I want the first interview when you get to the Briar. Is that a deal?
Yep.
Sure.
Deal.
Awesome. Guys, take care. Awesome. Good luck. Good curling. And so wonderful to see you on the show.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How old am I going to be then, Devin? Am I going to be like 104 or something? But I'll be there for you with my whiteboard. I hope the technology doesn't change.
Listen. We've lined up a lot of interviews moving forward. You've got your whiteboard there. We've got a big finish coming up because we're a half hour away from the last draw of the championship round on Curling Day in Canada. If anybody missed those montages with all the fans in there or want to watch them again, you can go to our CBC Olympics Twitter. We put in some of the moments so you can rewatch and save those beautiful montages. Colleen, we got a big finish. We do have
a big finish.
Saturday.
Devin's an expert on rewatching this show. We just love Devin and I just sit around after and we rewatch the show. Okay. Here's your skill testing. It's a test now. Okay.
Right.
Who are you picking, Devin? Let me put you on the spot, eh? Wildcard 1 versus Alberta. And I liked what the family just said about picking. One of them picked Walker from the start. Walker's been playing hot. And when we talked to her that night with Liam the other night, and they had 3 losses, and she was saying, we know what we need to do. We just need to win the rest.
Just win.
And they're doing that.
Yeah.
And that is the right idea. This big showdown between Canada and Manitoba is huge. Jennifer Jones played lights out, and I think that's the real Jennifer. Like, we didn't quite see the real Jennifer. Who was that imposter yesterday, Devin?
Well, let me answer that. I tweeted, I don't think you want to make Jennifer Jones mad. I actually used another word that I'm not going to say on the air, but Jennifer Jones champions are going to champion. And I would be very afraid if I were those other teams because she looks like she's bringing it for these last few games, Colleen.
Yeah, except when she didn't bring it. And then you're going, wait a minute, she didn't almost look. There were a couple of games there that, she was looking around at cardboard cutouts. But anyhow, Jennifer is looking to win tonight because there are 16 different scenarios. The simplest scenario is if Canada wins, they'll get first place, and that is so huge. Holman playing Saskatchewan, Anderson, of course. It'll be interesting to see how the teams that are out of it, like Chelsea, Fleury, Carey, Sherry Anderson, Peterson, and St. George. I don't expect the kids will have any trouble getting up for it. It'll be interesting to see how the veterans respond going into tonight.
And call, we should point out that if Alberta wins and Jennifer Jones wins and Holman wins, we will have a tiebreaker for that final playoff spot tomorrow morning. So that is the situation. I have a sense, this is my prediction, that we're going to be waking up early tomorrow morning and chugging cereal bowls of coffee, because I do believe there will be a tiebreaker. And this might be the only time that you hear me embracing a tiebreaker.
Well, isn't it funny that when we were talking about, the end of the first preliminary round, and we had 1,000 different scenarios that could play out, and none of them happened, and it was a clean in. So that could happen tonight too.
Yep.
So we mentioned the simplest thing tonight is Canada wins, they get first place. If Canada loses and Ontario wins, Holman finishes first. So yeah, that is stress. But as you just mentioned, there are other calculations that could happen. So we'll be seeing. Watch for Alberta's Laura Walker though, because they have been so strong in these last couple of games, playing like they can.
Okay, now listen, we're closing out this special episode, and of course we're going to be around tomorrow, and we're going to be around for every night of the Briar. So buckle up, get your rest. We're not going anywhere, but we're ending the show, Colleen, as I understand it, with a video.
Yes, we are, and as you know, you surprised me with that little video off the top. We have kind of surprised all the curlers with different videos, and now we're going to surprise you. And for those of you who don't know this, Devin's a bit of a control freak. You might not know that. He just is. It's just the way he is. Are you tweeting as we talk this? Anyhow, this is a really special video from Greg and Nicole from Wasaga Beach. And enjoy it. It's pretty awesome. Surprise, Devin. Oh, that was so good. I loved it all. I love the drama.
Well, and this is what I'll say. High intensity, high drama. That's what we want on this show. So to Nicole, to Gregory, and I know Ryan was filming that. That is a beautiful surprise. That's what we want in this sport. That is the eye of the tiger. Yeah. And that leads into tonight, Colleen, a big finish. Who will have the eye of the tiger at the Scotties?
That's a great question. We'll know. Stay tuned. There's going to be drama. Me, I'm going to switch to some of that human curling myself, where I'm on a crazy carpet going down the ice. Who needs just a 42-pound thing of granite? I want all of me. Awesome. Love it.
Yep.
All right. We'll
Awesome.
see you tomorrow.
Thank you for watching. Happy Curling Day in Canada to all of you across this country and around the world. A lot of curling ahead. We're not going anywhere. Good luck. Yeah. Good night. Good curling.
And by the way, thank you also to everybody from Watson Lake to Quebec and in Manitoba and down in Wisconsin for making your Wi-Fi and your iPad work and your phones. That was wonderful. I love being in your backyard. So anyhow, good night. See you tomorrow.
Send us your videos. Send us your photos. Keep it coming. Thanks, curling fans.
Love ya. Thanks, Sophie.